Okay, guys, we are live. Let's begin. So, hey everyone, I'm Arshal Jain, your mentor at Geeks for Geeks. And guys, we are going to finish our project in this video. So, in the part one, we basically designed the layout, sidebar, and the main section. And now in this video, guys, we are going to complete the task management. So, you can see here, I've created this board, and basically, we call this board Kanban board. Okay, Kanban board. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. So Kanban board, and basically this board is nothing but, yeah, you can drag and drop things like that. Okay, so suppose you want this task as to do, so you can just make it to do, right? And if you want to delete this, we are going to add the delete functionality. And now suppose if I want to add the task, for example, go to college. Okay, go to college, right? And then submit maths file, have a, watch 5 DSA videos, something like that. Okay, so you can see that I have added 3 tasks. Now suppose I have watched 5 DSA videos, so I'm just gonna drag and drop it here, right? And suppose this is in progress right now. Okay, obviously I'm watching 5 videos, so I'm just gonna make it in progress. And once this task is done, we are just gonna make it in close. We are just gonna add it in close. Similarly, I went to college. Right now I'm in college. Okay, this task is done. Okay, similarly, I am going to submit the file, so it's in progress. I'll remember, okay, I'm about to do this task. And when this task is done, then submit maths file. Okay, and similarly, you can remove anything, you can shift anything back. That's totally up to you. Okay, so this is some awesome functionality which is not only for this specific Kanban board or for this specific project. You can basically implement it anywhere. Suppose if I give you a very good example, we are using React DND. Okay, so DND is drag and drop. Okay, do not disturb name, drag and drop. So basically we can use it in games also, like chess. Okay, in chess you have these players. Okay, different players, so you can just use drag and drop functionality, so you can make the game more interactive, right? So this is what we are going to do. We are going to add drag and drop functionality into our React.js project. This is going to be the main task of our today's project. Okay, so part one is already done. We have done some part. Okay, so I'm going to show you what's done in part one, then we're going to jump to part two. Okay, so let me just open the part one. And also guys, I have also provided the source code, so I'm just going to show you where is my GitHub repository. So I'll just open the URL. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, so guys, for getting the repository of this project, what you can do is you can just go to this GitHub profile, github.com/viraj014, right? This is the GitHub profile. And guys, you can also check out my LinkedIn, or you can just follow me here. In the repositories, you would find what? You would find to do JIRA GFG. Okay, you can just go here, or you can search the repository by name. And after that, you can see part one is available here. I'm going to upload the part two also today, right now, when we end this video, right? So let's do it, guys. So this is the part one code which I have opened. Let me just show you by running it how much we have done. So to run this, you just need to type the command npm start. Okay, once you type the command npm start, I think in 3001 something else was running, this was running. So this is what we have done till now. Okay, till last video. Okay, this was done in last video, but we haven't added the add to do input field and also the feature to drag and drop. So we're going to do that today, right? So let's do this. So for that, guys, first of all, what's our main task here? So here we have created 3 columns, right? Here we have created 3 columns. So what we are going to do is we are just going to go to this board, right? We're going to go to this board. I am going to remove this column part. Okay, by the way, we have created 3 columns, just nothing else we have done. We have just created 3 columns. 3 columns. Why 3 columns? One would be for to do, second would be for in progress, third would be for completed or closed. Okay, So basically 3 columns. So we need to create 3 columns, and then inside that we need to create task, and whenever I drag and drop to another column, the task would be changed. Okay, the status of that task would be changed, right? So here guys, first of all, in board page, whatever we have created in board page, what we need to do is we need to create status. Okay, so here I'm just gonna create a file, create a line here. I'm just gonna say const, and I'll just create a variable. So I'll just say status, status, statuses. Okay, here I can just give 3 status. Okay, so I'm just gonna say to do, right? And then guys, what we can do is I'll just say in progress, right? And what else can we do is closed. Okay, so generally you would see these 3 terms into any kind of platform like Jira or anywhere. Generally these are the 3 terms. There might be more columns also, but we are considering these 3 columns. Okay, so I'm assuming my 3 columns are there. First column name is to do, second is in progress, third is closed. Okay, so accordingly we are going to do things, right? So here I'm gonna create one more array which is going to store all of my tasks. Okay, all of my tasks. So I'm just gonna say const, and here I'm just gonna say tasks set tasks. Okay, set tasks equals use state, and guys, I'm just gonna close it with an empty array. Okay, so initially there would be no task. Later on we're going to add some tasks. Okay, so I'll just say that one of my task would be having what, each of my task actually would be having what format. So inside this I am just going to say task. Okay, I'm talking about my single task. This was all a task. Okay, this was a single task. So inside the single task we are going to have an object which would contain what, which would contain fields like id, the title of that task. You can also add the description if you want, and then the status can be what, status can be to do, status can be in progress, status can be closed. Okay, so we can set the status also, right? This would be done. Now again, we are just gonna create 3 different arrays here. For to do's we are gonna have one array, for in progress we're gonna have another array, then for close we're gonna have another array. Okay, so finally your code would be like this. Okay, so in the final part, right now it's like this, it's looking like this because we have removed the column, but after we complete the project it would look something like this. So here you can see we have the first column to be to do, second column to be in progress, third could be closed. Okay, so basically we are mapping the status here. Okay, so we're going to do that, we're going to use this status array later on, but yeah, that's why we have created that. Okay, right. So guys, then we have the task array which would contain all of our tasks. Each of our tasks would be in this format, right? So let's do it. So for the remaining part we have created 3 arrays. Okay, and we have also created the statuses. Then we're gonna say as soon as I create a task. So for creating a task, what we need to do? We need to simply say that inside the board, we are gonna create a division. Okay, I'm gonna create an input field from where I can add the task. So I'll just give it a class name. Okay, in the class name, I can just say that add task, right? And inside this guys, I'm just gonna have an input field. Okay, so input field would be very basic. It would be containing the value from the title. So whatever is written here would be shown in my input field, and whenever I want to change my input, what I can do is I can just say on change set task, and inside that I'm going to change the title field. Okay, so whatever I write here would be set into the title, and whatever is written into the title, just set it here. Okay, so that's what we have done. After this we are going to have a button also. So button would be submit button. So I'm just gonna say whenever I click on this, handle submit function would be called. So I'm just gonna create a handle submit function here. Okay, so let's create and close it. Okay, so inside this function basically we are going to simply say if task I'm just going to print this. Okay, I'm just going to print the task console.log, and inside this I'm just gonna provide the task. Okay, so whatever task we have, it's going to be printed here. So I'm going to change the value of this task object, and later on we are going to print it here. Okay, so let's do it. So here guys, if I just inspect and if I go to the console, here you can see right now nothing is here. If I write something, if I click on this, you can see that yeah, we have these things. So here we need one more thing, that is the id and also the status. Okay, so how we can get that? So for getting the id, we need to install uuid package. So it's gonna generate a unique id for us. Okay, so I'm just gonna type npm I uuid. Okay, unique id, right? So it's gonna generate an id for us. How we can generate the id? So it's pretty simple. We're just gonna say that here I'm just saying let actually const new task equals data from the task object. And then what we are going to modify, we're going to modify the id parameter. I'm just saying that the id parameter would be what, it would be taken from the uuid package. Basically I'm going to generate this id parameter, some unique id from uuid. Okay, so for that you just need to import it. So I'm just going to import it. So import v4 as uuid v4 from uuid. Okay, so basically we need to use this. Okay, so I'm just gonna say uuid v4 and just pass this bracket. Okay, now let's check again. I'm just going to print new task this time. Okay, so new task this time. So let's print again. So if I click on this, you can see that now guys an id also has been generated. Very easy, right? Then we have the title. Now we need to generate the status. Okay, so by default the status would be what? By default the status would be what? Obviously by default the status would be, whenever you are creating a task, the status would be what to do, right? So like you haven't done the task, you're not in progress, you have just created the task. Okay, so I'm just gonna say status, it would be what, it would be what, it would be very simple. It would be here I'm just gonna say to do. That's it, to do, right? So whenever you're creating the task, it would be initially to do, right? Then guys what we're gonna say is, let's print it again. Now if I just print it, you can see that now the status is also to do, right? Now I think it looks fine. What we can do is we can continue with the remaining part. That is what, adding the task into the tasks array. Okay, adding this into the tasks array. How we can do that? So it's very easy. I'm just gonna say set task, right? Inside this, I'm just gonna say just get all the data from this tasks array. Right now initially it's empty, but sometimes it might contain 4 or 5 tasks. Okay, so I'm just saying get all the tasks from the task array. Okay, and simply update the task. That means simply just get all the tasks from the task array, append the new task. Okay, append the new task. That means previously there were 5 tasks, now there are total 6 tasks, okay, in a separate array. Now just pass that array. Okay, just pass that array, return updated task. That means now task array would be having, instead of 5 tasks now it would have 6 tasks, or instead of 6 tasks now it would have 7 tasks. That means it's updating the things. And one more thing, which is I'm going to set this to my local storage. Okay, so local storage. Okay, in local storage I'm gonna say set item, set item. Okay, inside this I'm just gonna say tasks. Okay, tasks. And then here guys I'm just gonna say json dot stringify. Okay, and I'm gonna provide my updated task array. That means I'm just modifying this temporary storage in my browser. I'm just providing this task array into my task array. Okay, that means updated tasks into my task array. Okay, completely replacing, okay, whatever was there previously in the local storage, it's completely replaced by this new array. Okay, so it's gonna save the data into my local storage. So next time when I refresh my page, it's there in the local storage. From there I can get the task. Okay, so now I can get the task. So it's very easy. So I'm just gonna say whenever my website loads, in that case what we actually call the use effect. Okay, use effect, and it's empty. Okay, you just pass empty when you call it, whenever your page loads. Okay, whenever someone refresh, I want to call this, so I'm gonna pass everything inside this one. Okay, very easy, right? So here I'm just gonna get the stored task. So I'm just gonna say const stored tasks. From where I'm gonna get the task? I'm gonna get the task from my local storage. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, since we save the data in string format, now I'm going to convert it into JSON format. That means json.parse local storage dot get item task. That means I'm getting the same array which I've saved in the local storage. Whenever I refresh, I want to get those tasks, so that tasks are there even if you refresh the page. If the array is empty or undefined, in that case I'm just gonna pass empty array. Okay, in some cases it might be empty, you haven't created this for the first time, right? In that case it might be empty, right? Then I would simply say just set the task to store task. Okay, so let's print this. So console.log stored store task. Okay, this is line number 23. Okay, just remember this. And I think one error is here. What's the error? Use effect is not defined. Okay, so let's define the use effect. Okay, so it's imported. Now let's save it. Right, so there is no issue. So now guys what we're going to do is we are going to check. Okay, so for now if I just refresh, so you can see line number 23 is giving empty because we haven't added any task. But now I'm gonna add the task. I've added task number 1. Okay, similarly I'm just gonna add another task. Okay, task number 2. Now if I refresh, you can simply see that yeah, now I have 2 tasks saved in my local storage. Okay, so these are coming from my local storage. That means yeah, tasks are saved successfully in the local storage. And this is what? This is the task array, right? This is the task array. Basically I'm setting it to the task array, right? That means yeah, tasks are being able to saved in the local storage. Perfect. And also being updated in the set task. That means in real time also I'm going to able to see the updated things, and also in local storage also things are updated. Okay, that's it. Now guys, we have updated the task, we have added the task. What else you need to do? So what else you need to do? You need to simply map things. Okay, so you are going to come here outside this division. We are going to create another division, and let's give it a class name of what? Kanban. Okay, Kanban. Okay, Kanban, Kanban. Okay, so inside this what we're going to have is we are going to simply say statuses. Okay, statuses dot map. So statuses are what? To do, in progress, and closed. Okay, we have created this array, right? At the top you can see statuses, right? So basically we are going to map that. For creating 3 columns, we are going to map it, right? We are going to map that array. Okay, it just contains 3 texts. Okay, for creating 3 columns. So I'm just gonna say status. Now I'm talking about specific status. Okay, here what I can do is I can just create a return statement. Okay, inside this, for now I'm just creating a h1 tag, and I'm just going to print status. Let's see how it works. So you can see that I'm getting 3 columns. Perfect. Now guys, what we need to do is I need to simply modify it a bit. Okay, I need to modify the board.css. So I'm just gonna go to board.css, and here guys I want flex direction as column. Okay, I'm just going to make the flex direction is column, and rest everything I think is fine. Okay, I think it's fine. And one more thing, which is what? Which is the Kanban which I'm going to create. I want things to be in 3 rows instead of 3 rows. Actually I want 3 columns. Okay, so I'm just saying that yeah, display flex. Okay, now items would be in 3, basically they would be in row, but yeah, we are creating 3 columns. Okay, so I want things like this. Okay, I want things like this. That means display flex would simply make flex direction as a row. Okay, that means what I have said is you can see that to do, in progress, and column now are in row. Okay, these 3 would be individually columns, but yeah, they are in a row, right? So yeah, basically we have created this Kanban board. Now what we need to do is we need to instead of this text, what we need is we need to show it properly. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back here, and I'll create a row here. I'll create a column here. Okay, so task column dot chase. Basically it's a component. So I'm just creating a component here, and now I'm just going to map that component here. Okay, so I'm just gonna say task column. Okay, and let's close this. Okay, and from here guys, I'm going to send a few things. Okay, what we are going to send? We are going to send key, whatever is the key, that means to do or whatever it is. Okay, then guys, we are going to send the status also, whatever status row we are creating. Then we are going to send all the tasks. When we are going to also say modify task property. Okay, then we are also going to say to do's array, in progress array, close array. Okay, so that we can differentiate things in different columns. Okay, that's it. Now let's see, let's come back here, right? So you can see we are able to see task column. Okay, so now let's go to task column, right? And here guys, I am going to import the things which I have sent from there. Okay, import the things which I have sent from there. So let's import those things. Okay, so you can see that basically we have created task item also. You can see it's here, task item. So I have imported that. Then also we have imported status, task, set task. These are sent as props, right? So we are able to get the props also, right? So now guys, what we need to do is we are going to simply say class name equals col. Okay, and then we are going to say ref equals, later on we are going to talk about this for drag and drop. Okay, so now inside this we are just going to say that we have a h1 tag. Okay, we have a h1 tag, and I'm just going to say whatever is the status, I'll see the status. Okay, so status, and I'm going to convert the status to uppercase. Okay, let's see how it looks. So now you can see, yeah, we are able to see the statuses, right? We are going to style it later, but yeah, we are able to see the statuses. Okay, then we are going to create a division. Okay, and I'm just going to say class name, and class name would be what? Task list, task list. Okay, inside this we are going to simply say we are first of all going to print the task. Okay, so console dot log task tasks. Okay, I'm just going to print the task first. Let's see, am I able to get this? So you can see that in task column, even if I refresh this multiple times, you can see in task column I'm able to get the task. Okay, I'm going to simply differentiate each with the help of this status. That's it. That's what we are going to do. Okay, so how we can do that? So it's very easy. First of all, I'm going to go back to board.js. Okay, and I'm simply saying that whenever tasks load, just send them to individual to do, in progress, and closed array. Let's do this. Okay, so here, whenever tasks load, okay, whenever tasks load, that means whenever you update the page or whenever you update the task, whenever you refresh the page, in all cases that would run. Okay, this would only run when you refresh the page. This would run when you refresh the page, also when you update the task, that means via handle submit. Okay, in that case also this would run. Okay, right? So here guys, what I'm saying is whenever tasks are updated, simply do one thing. I'm just gonna say const todoss, okay, equals tasks dot filter. So I'm just gonna say whatever tasks are there in my task array, sort them into to do's array, into in progress array, into in closed array. That means according to the status. So I'm just gonna say pick each task. Okay, pick each task, and if that specific task status matches with to do, then send it to this to do's. Okay, similarly I'm gonna copy it, paste. Okay, now in this case what I want is I want in progress triple s. Okay, just add triple s so that you can differentiate it with this variable. That's why I'm giving double s triple s. Okay, I hope you get it. Okay, so I'm just saying that specific task matches with what, with in progress, then map it to this. Okay, and similarly I'm gonna have the third one, which is closed. Okay, closed, and I'm just gonna send it to closed one. Okay, so when the task is closed, send it to this array. Okay, once you set these things, I'm just gonna simply say set to do's. Okay, inside this just pass to do's double s. Okay, similarly I'm just gonna say set in progress, similarly pass in progress double s. Okay, similarly I'm just gonna say set closed. Inside this I'm just gonna pass uh closed double d. Okay, that means whatever I am separating, I'm just passing to individual array. Okay, so if you want to see this, what you can do is you can just say console dot log, and I'm just going to print this. Okay, I'm just going to print this to do's and in progress and closed. Okay, so I'm just trying to print this, and I'll just remove this console from here for now. Okay, now let's check. Okay, so whenever I refresh my page, you can see that what's happening here in line number 32, I am getting this. That means it's for to do's. Well, line number 33 I'm getting empty, line number 34 I'm getting empty. That means line number 33, 34 are empty, because obviously by default the tasks are to do. Okay, suppose I'm adding a new task, and let me just add a new task in progress. Okay, let me just add a new task in progress, and now I'm just adding some random things. Okay, now you can see that in line number 32 there is two tasks. Okay, in line number 33 there is one task, that means which is in progress, right? You can see. And line number 34, no one is closed, so you can see it's empty. Okay, so similarly you can just do this, but by default I want things to be in to do, right? So now I think this is clear how we are passing things into our three different arrays, and now we are sending these three different arrays into the task column. Okay, each column would be having these three different arrays. Okay, and I'm calling them here. Now what I'm gonna say is I'm in task column. Okay, I am in task column. I'm just gonna say by default these task by status, I'm just creating a variable here. This is going to store this to do's array. But if the status is in progress, that means I'm talking about in progress column. In that column I want to show in progress array, right? And if I am in columns, if I am in closed column, that means status is closed, then I'm going to show closed array. That's it. Okay, so now I'm just going to print this. Here I'm just gonna say status. Okay, I'm going to print the status, and accordingly I'm also going to print task by status. Okay, so you would see for three individual columns you can see if I just refresh for three, it's repeating because of multiple renders, but yeah, you can see for three individual columns. For to do, you can see you got the to do array. For in progress, you got the in progress. For close, you got the closed. Okay, it's empty, but yeah, you got things, right? That means for each individual column we have the array. So this is an individual column. I want to show it task by status. Task by status would change three times. It would be to do's, it would be in progress, it would be closed. Okay, so if I'm talking about first column, it would be showing to do's. If I'm talking about second column, it's gonna show in progress. If I'm talking about third column, it's gonna show closed, right? That's it. So let's come back here. Now we are going to map the tasks here, whatever task I have added. Okay, so for that, it's pretty easy. You are just going to say, you have created a division here. I'm just gonna say if task by length is greater than task by status dot length is greater than 0. That means if that array has some items, okay, and task by status dot map, okay, then I'm going to map that specific task into my column. Okay, so here what we are going to do is, okay, I can just do it directly by passing these brackets. Okay, and here what we are going to do is we are just going to say that task item, and let's close it. Okay, let's close it. I think I have missed out something here. What's the missing thing here? Double brackets. Okay, so just add another bracket and you can see now it looks good. Okay, so inside the task item, I'm also going to provide the task ID and method to change the task and all tasks and that specific task. Okay, that's it. So this is it. Now I provided it. Now let's see how it looks. So if I come back here, you can see that I'm able to see the task item, two task item here, one task item here, nothing in the close. Okay, because in task item, you can see I haven't shown anything. I'll work on this, but yeah, you can see that it's done. Right, so this was it. Now one more thing is I am going to create a draw functionality here later. So I'll just do that later, but let's come back to task item now. Now in task item, what we need to do is we simply need to import stuff first. Okay, we simply need to import those stuff. Then I've also installed React Hot Toast. Just install that. Okay, just install that via npm I React Hot Toast, and just import toast from React Hot Toast. Okay, that's what you need to do. And one more thing, just go to app.js. Okay, and just add the toaster here. Okay, just add the toaster here from React Hot Toast. Okay, so I think I need to install it, so I'm just gonna type that command here. I'm just gonna type npm I React Hot Toast. Okay, so I'm just installing React Hot Toast. It's gonna take a few seconds. Can see it's taking the time. And then guys, I'm just going to import it here. Okay, so toaster is imported here and toast is imported here. That's it. Okay, done. Now once toast is here, what we need to do is we need to create, we actually need to show it properly first. So I'm just going to say class name, and here guys I'm just gonna pass bracket here. Okay, then I'm gonna pass the backticks here. Okay, then I'm just gonna pass task item. Okay, this would be the class I'm going to pass, and also one more class which would be according to the status, because I want to highlight the color according to the status. Okay, so task dot status. Okay, so if the status is to do, so I'm going to highlight that with blue color. If the status is in progress, I'm going to highlight that with orange color. If the status is closed, I'm going to highlight that with green color. Okay, so because of that I've given this class also. So according to the class I'll give the styling, right? So now I'm just gonna provide a p tag. Okay, and inside this p tag guys, I'm just gonna say task dot title, right? Title, that's it. Let's see how it looks. Cannot resolve this because I haven't provided the CSS file. So here guys, I'm gonna provide the CSS file, task item dot CSS, right? Let's see. So you can see that yeah, the to do tasks are now coming here, in progress tasks are coming here. Okay, perfect. So now first of all, let's finish the styling. So I'm just gonna go to board.css, right? Let's go back to board.css, and here I'm just gonna style my board, right? And then I'm gonna style the Kanban. Okay, that looks fine. Then guys, I'm gonna talk about the column. So column looks fine. Now I'm just gonna say that the heading, the h1 tag of the board, okay, h1 tag of the board would be styled. So let's go back to our column. You can see I'm saying that the columns h1 tag, I need to style this. Okay, so inside the board I have called task column, obviously, so from there only I am styling it. Okay, so I'm just simply saying in board we have the column dot call class of task column. Inside that we have the h1 tag. So I'm going to style the h1 tag. So I'm going to give them very basic styles. You can just copy paste, it's very easy. I don't want to waste the time, right? So I just want the text to be in center, some margin from top and bottom, from left and right I want it in center, then some padding, some font weight, some maximum width, amount of width taken by the text, okay, and then font size, and then color. Okay, so let's come back here. You can see that that's how these three look now. Okay, fine, very easy. Now I'm going to talk about add task. So I want the add task input component to be in row. Okay, then I want the input to be having some padding and no border. Okay, you can see that now it would like this, it would look like this. Okay, that's it. Now what else you want is, I want to style the button. So whenever I see the button, I want to simply say it would have some padding, border radius, background color, some font size. So you can see that this is the button. Okay, so now if I add a task, again if I add a task, so you can see that now it's added very easily. But as soon as I add a task, so I'm just gonna go to this board.js. Okay, as soon as I add a task, what I want is set task. And here guys, what I'm going to say is, I'm just going to pass these three empty fields. That's it. That's it. So I'm just going to empty the task again. As soon as I enter a task, you can see as soon as I enter, the task would be emptied, right? That's what I want. Okay, right? And one more thing which I want is, I want to simply say toast dot success. And here guys, I'm just gonna say task added, successfully. Okay, successfully. Let's see. So if I now add a task, you can see task added successfully. It looks fine, right? So we have added the task also. Now guys, what we need to do is, we need to style the task item. Okay, we need to style the task item also. So we are gonna go to task item, right? And we're just gonna say, first of all, if I talk about a specific task item, you can see I'm talking about this specific task item. I wanted to take some padding, some margin from bottom, some border, then border radius and background color, and some font size. So you can see that each now looks like this, right? But now inside this, if I am saying that my status is to do, so if I am saying my status is to do, I want it to have border left and the background color like this. Okay, so you can see in status to do, you can see it look like this. Okay, and in, if it's in progress, if the status is in progress, so accordingly I'm going to say that it's going to take this border. So you can see this border and this background color, right? And then the task is closed. In that case, I want it to have the green border. Okay, so according to this, you can see that, yeah, obviously I haven't given that, but yeah, in future you would see the green color, right? So that's how it would work. Then guys, I think it's done. And what else I want? Actually, I'm gonna modify this a bit. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, yes, I'm gonna add one more thing here. I'm gonna add a button also. So here in the task item, here I'm gonna add one button also. Okay, so this button would be a delete button, remove task button. Okay, so I'll just simply go to hero icons. Okay, just go here, hero icons, right? And here I'm just gonna say delete, and you can copy any icon you want. I'll just copy this one. Okay, I'll copy this one, and now I'll just come back here, right? And here I'll just paste it, paste the JSX. And here guys, I'm going to create a function. So const handle remove, okay. And right now let's keep it empty. So whenever I click on this, so on click, whenever I click on this, I want to simply call the handle remove function. Okay, handle remove function. Inside that, I'm just gonna provide what task I want to remove, that ID of that task. Okay, so I'm just gonna provide the ID of that task. So I'm just gonna first of all print it, whatever task I'm going to remove, console.log task, task actually ID. So I'm just going to print that ID which I'm going to remove. That's it. Okay, so now I think this looks fine. So let's come back here. And now if I clean this a bit, and if I click on this, you can see I'm getting the ID which I want to remove. You can see that means it's working. Now let's give the CSS. Okay. So I'll go to task item, right? And here guys, I'm just gonna say whatever is the svg inside this, I'm just gonna give width and height and the color. So you can see that now it looks like this. Okay, so you can see it works fine, right? It works fine. Now guys, what we need to do is we need to simply add the remove functionality. So how we can add the remove functionality? So here in the task item we have the remove function, right? So in task item we have the remove function. I'm just gonna say that filter out that specific task. Okay, let me just write it as task id. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that filter out that task id. I'm just gonna say keep all tasks except that specific task. Okay, and I filter out. Okay, then I'm just gonna say set f task filter task, right? And also modify the local storage. Okay, because in local storage also it must be removed. Okay, then you can simply say task removed successfully. Let's do it. So if I now click on this, you can see now it's gone. If I click on this, it's gone. If I click on this, now it's gone, right? So you can see task is now removed successfully. Very easy, right? Very easy. So you can see remove functionality is also done, right? So this was it. Now guys, we are going to add the drag and drop functionality, right? क्या भाई streamer, oh thanks. Chalo, let's now work on the drag and drop functionality. So you can see if I try to drag, even if I try to drag this, you can see it's not working. Okay, why it's not working? Because we have to add the drag and drop functionality. So just search for a package named as React DND. Okay, just search for this one. Okay, and you can just go to this GitHub page, right? I don't know why the SEO of this Edge browser is not that good. That's why it's a little bit below. You have to scroll. Okay, anyway, so you can see that, yeah, you need to install this line. Okay, install this line of code. Basically, we have two tasks. We just need to add the drag functionality, enable the drag functionality, and we have to enable the drop functionality. And what happens when you drop, we have to tell that to our code. Okay, we have to tell that what happens when you drop. I want to simply change the status when I drop. Okay, that's it. So we're going to do that. So I've installed it. Now just go to this app.css file, app.js file, I'm sorry. Here you need to first of all create a drag and drop context. Okay, so for that, just go to the documentation and just go to this basic tutorial. It's very helpful. And in the example, they have built a chess game. Okay, so yeah, chess game, it's like drag and drop also works there. So you can use that. So first of all, I want to go here. You can actually read the documentation also very properly. And I actually want to show you something. Okay, if I just scroll down, you can see that they have given a basic overview also. Uh, Right. So here you can see it's a little bit more below setting up DND context. Okay. So here you can see we have DND provider. Inside this, you have provided your whole code. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this part. Okay. I'm just going to copy this part and I'm going to paste it to my app.js. Okay. I'm going to paste it to my app.js. So it's very easy. I'll just go here. Okay. I'll just go here and paste it. Okay, and here you just need to call DND provider. Okay, and I'll just write backend. I don't know what's it doing in the backend part, but yeah, it's important. Okay, so yeah, you have to write it like this. You have to import it and close it. Okay, fine. So you can see I have added the provider first of all. Okay, so provider would actually enable the drag and drop functionality throughout your code, right? And then after that, you have to go to the task item to enable the drag functionality, because you would be dragging the task item, right? So here you have to add the drag functionality. Okay, very important. Since I want to drag the task item, this is the task item, this is the task item, this is the task item. So you have to add the drag functionality in the task item itself. Okay, inside this component. That's why I've created the component, so that there is no confusion. Okay, so for that, just go back to the documentation. Okay, just go back there and you can see that this is the drag property. Okay, you can see, just go to the drag property and now go to your code. Okay, So now I think there would be no confusion since I'm using the exact documentation, right? So here you can see that what's needed to be changed. I can actually change this to simple task task, okay, and is dragging, drag, use drag, okay, and then in the item I want to store the ID so that I can recognize what I am dragging. Okay, so just create the item. Okay, inside that I'm just gonna provide the ID. ID would be task.id. This is actually useful when you are dropping it somewhere, and in the drop location you want to identify what I am dropping. Okay, what's the dragged item? So to identify that I have to provide the ID like this. Okay, and I think everything is fine. Is dragging is this, is dragging is like something which would tell you are dragging right now. Okay, you are dragging something, it would become true when you are dragging something, it would become false when you are not dragging anything. Okay, so to simply check that, you can simply print it. And one more thing guys, in the ref I'm just going to provide this drag. Okay, this drag variable which is defined. Okay, right, so now I'm just going to check am I able to drag or not. So use drag is not defined, so I'm just going to come back and define it. Now use drag is defined, but no, why? Yeah, now it's fine. So if I just inspect that and if I go to console, you can see that right now it's false. Okay, now if I try to drag it, okay, if I try to drag it, now if I go back and inspect console, so you can see it became true and again it became false. That means whenever you are dragging, it would become true. Okay, so we have to do that. Now we need to create a location where you can drop it. Right now you can see even if I'm trying to drag, it's showing the this cross sign. Why it's showing the cross cursor? Because obviously this location is not droppable. Okay, so we have to make these locations droppable. What are these locations? These are basically task column. So we have to go to the task column and just add the droppable uh, code there. Okay, so let's go into the documentation, and here you can simply see if I go down, this is the drop functionality, right? This is the drop functionality. You can simply see the complete drop functionality here, right? So this is the drop functionality. So how we can simply do this? So I'll just copy this part, drag functionality only. I'll just go to the task column. Okay, just go to the task column and at the top or anywhere, just do it at the top, just paste it. Okay, now guys, here we need to make some changes. Obviously now we are dropping. Okay, so first of all just change this to is over. Okay, and is over here also, and is over here also. Okay, then second thing would be what? drop. Okay, and then here guys we are going to change it to drop, use drop, and import it. Okay, that's it. And here instead of this I want to simply say accept those things which have type as task. So here we are simply saying if the type matches with task to this task, that means it matches, right? This text matches with this text, that means this specific item is allowed to drop into this column. That's how you accept things. Okay, now the next thing would be what? uh, I want to simply say whenever I drop, what must happen? Whenever I drop, what must happen? I want to change the status wherever location. Suppose the initially the task is to do. If I drop it to the column of in progress, so I want to change the status to in progress. Similarly, if I drop it to closed column, so I want to change the status to closed column, right? So for that, we are just going to say whenever I drop, just simply call a function. So I'm just going to call a function, create a function actually later. So add task to column, and here you just need to provide the item dot id. So whatever task id you have provided from there is basically now the item dot id. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to call this function. So let's create this function here. So I'll just simply say const add item to column, right? And here you are gonna have what? You're gonna have an id, right? What id? So you're gonna have the task id. So I'm just gonna write id here, whatever id you get here, right? And I'll just do one thing, I'll just simply print it. Status would be what? In whatever column you have dropped things, that would be printing the status, that would be the status, and id would be coming from the dragged item, right? So let's check it now. So right now if I am trying to drag it and if I'm trying to drop it here, okay, so if I just inspect it, and here guys you can just see do one more thing, just add this drop to ref. Okay, I forgot that. So here I can just say ref equals drop. Okay, now it would work. Okay, so now let's come back here, and now if I just try to drop it here, so if I just inspect and console, so you can see dropped this ID in this column. You can see it's perfect. Now I just want to change the status. Once I change the status, the dragged item would be simply shown here. Okay, very easily. So as soon as I drop it, I want to just change the status. How can I do that? So I simply want to modify the task, right? So I can just go back to this board.js. Okay, board.js, right? And here guys, you can see you are updating the task, right? So similarly, what you can do is here also you can modify the task. So I'm simply saying just just go inside set tasks. Okay, just go inside this set task and just close it, right? And inside this, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna simply create an array, modified task array. Okay, and here I'm just gonna say previous dot map. Okay, so I'm just saying from previous task get all the tasks. Okay, so T is specific task. Okay, so I'm getting all the tasks and doing one operation. Doing what operation? The search operation. I'm trying to find that item which I'm trying to update. So the task ID must match with my dragged items ID. Okay, so from all the tasks, I'm finding that task which I was dragging. Okay, so I'll find that task, and then I'm just simply going to say just change its status. So in that specific task, just change the status. So now let's see if it works properly. And okay, one more thing, you have to return T here. Don't forget to return T here. Okay, in other cases return T. Okay, and also once you are done, return the modified task so that it's set it to set task. Okay, so that's how it's done. Okay, right, very easy. Now let's come back here. Now if I just shift it here, so you can see now it's very easy, right? If I shift it here, it's very easy, right? So you can see that now this is done. It's pretty easy. The project was pretty easy, and the drag and drop functionality is like very easy, right? So if I now add a task, go to school, okay, something like that. Okay, go to school. Later on you can add the edit functionality also. If you want to edit something, you can add the edit functionality. Just create an edit function, edit button here, and then just create the edit functionality, right? Go to school, have lunch. Okay, like this. Now I am on the way to my school, so I'm simply saying in progress. Once I reach the school, I would simply say it's closed. Similarly, have lunch. So right now I'm having the lunch. Then once lunch is done, have lunch is closed. Okay, so just an example. Obviously you'd be using it for professional purposes, so definitely you can use it there, right? So guys, I hope you enjoyed this project. This project is complete. Now I'm going to upload my source code to GitHub, right? Let's do it. So I'm just going to push the code git add dot git commit day 2. Okay, and git push. Right, so now guys, I have uploaded the source code to GitHub. If you want to check out the source code, what you need to do is you just need to visit my GitHub profile. You can just type github.com/viraj014, and you can check out my GitHub repositories, profiles. In the repositories, you would find to do JIRA GFG. If you don't find this, you can search the name here, you would find this. Okay, inside this complete source code is available. You can either download the zip or you can just clone it, clone this repository. It's public. Okay, and also one more thing guys, if you want to see day one's code, you can simply go here and you would be able to find day one source code. Okay, and if you want to get the day two source code, so it's available here. You can just check out my commits like that. It's going to be very easy, right? So guys, I hope you enjoyed this session, and I will